is Physics. Today's topic, Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev Part 2. Like, we really needed to see a Part 2 to this. Um, I know there was some controversy over the first fight, but I do feel, in my opinion, that Andre Ward dominated the second half. At best, I think you'd have to do it at maybe 7-5, 7 rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4. But either way, I did not think that Sergey won the fight. He looked totally gassed out the last 4 rounds and did really nothing. But yet the guy puts up all this argument and all of these statements and all of these comments trying to get a rematch. I don't really feel like the guy even deserved a rematch, to be honest with you. I mean, he still had unfinished business in that division before he started poking and prodding at Andre Ward to come up and fight him anyway. That is still unfinished. He hasn't addressed any of those issues, and I do mean Adonis Stevenson and his avoidance of that fighter. He should have actually taken that fight, got another belt, then fought Ward. That would have been a little bit more interesting to me. The first fight did 150,000 buys, which is kind of horrible. I mean, I don't know how else to put that. But 150,000 buys is not good in the boxing world. Okay, Manny's doing higher than that, fighting unknown guys. And people were very familiar with Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward, and the fight still only did 150,000 buys. Maybe because it had pretty much empty undercard, maybe. But I really don't see the second fight doing better than that. Even though the fighters themselves have been talking about this, and a lot of the hardcore fans have been talking about this, the casual fans could care less. I mean, so with that said, what do I think is going to transpire during the rematch? I say Ward completely dominates him. I don't see any other outcome for the second fight. Ward was knocked down early in the first fight, but really I think that was Ward taking a chance. He saw a window of opportunity. He took it. The window closed very quickly. I think he underestimated the reaction time of Sergey. But as the fight progressed, what did I notice? I noticed that Sergey couldn't fight on the inside, and Andre Ward can. So Andre Ward is going to press an inside fight. Now, unless Sergey has developed some new talents or skills that we don't know about, I'm going to say that this next fight is going to be an inside fight. So he should be ready. He should be ready for a rough and tumble sort of engagement. But I don't see him winning. I do not see him winning this second fight just because the guy didn't have any inside skills. And quite frankly, you know what? Sergey has used some very racially charged comments toward Andre Ward, which I thought was very distasteful. And I'm not against shit talking in boxing, but it shouldn't be based on race or nationality or anything like that. It should be based on skills and opponents. If you're talking shit about a fighter, it should be based on who's on his resume. If the guys fought for people who had 3 wins and 74 losses, those are bums. And you can address those during the conference. But I don't think that boxing should be a place for racism, even though it is there. And, I mean, you can clearly see it in the argument about this fight. You can clearly see it, I believe. Because like I originally stated in the beginning of this video, I scored it. I mean, that's being very generous right now, 7-5. Gave basically the first half to Sergey and the second half to Ward. Don't see much of a difference. Sergey really seems to be limited in his skills. He has a pretty good jab. He has a pretty decent right hand. Other than that, I don't see anything special about the guy at all. So I'm gonna be putting that in that prediction early, and I'm going for Andre Ward to win the rematch. And I guess the biggest question for Andre Ward is going to be, where does he go from there? I've heard talks about retirement. I've heard a couple of the people in the boxing community saying that they would like to see Andre Ward go up in weight to full-blown heavyweight, which I think is a mistake. And they're looking at the flaws of a lot of these bigger guys, and Andre's still at a good age. Andre's like 30, 31 years old. I mean, so he's still actually pretty young. But when you start to talk about the heavyweight division, some of these guys are basically like basketball centers, man. They're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". I think Deontay's actually 6'7". Klitschko's 6'6". I believe Anthony Joshua's 6'6". Tyson Fury's like 6'8", 6'9". I really don't feel that Ward, being the technician that he is, fights with the ferocity of a Jack Dempsey or a Mike Tyson. And I don't think that going in there with these bigger guys is a good move. I don't even think, honestly, he should stick around at light heavyweight, because you have a Russian fighter on the way up. And I've been telling people about this guy, Arthur Beterbiev. And he was in a car accident last year, and I think he hurt his shoulder. He might have had to get a surgery or something like that. But he's very well decorated. I do believe another two-time Olympian. A near flawless amateur record of at least 200 fights. And this guy, I mean, he looks like the real deal. He looks like a for real monster. He's been knocking everybody out. He's the Vasily Lomachenko of the light heavyweight division. And I don't think Andre Ward should take that fight. Leave that fight to the Kovalevs and the Adonis Stevensons of the world. I did hear some rumors that Badu Jack was actually trying to call Andre Ward out, and I really think that's a bad idea for Badu Jack, because even though Badu Jack has had maybe, 3 draws in a row, I think this would be an official loss. I just don't think he has the skill set to go in there with an Andre Ward and walk away with a win. I do feel very confident that Andre Ward, and Virgil has actually commented on this, that it wouldn't be that hard to come back down to 168. And with Triple G kind of putting it out there that he might be willing to move up to 168. But he don't get it twisted. He expressed no desire to get in the ring with Ward. To this day, he has not expressed any desire to mix it up with Ward at 168. So I don't really think, if he does come to 168, I think he would still avoid Andre Ward. But Andre Ward could definitely come down to 168 and beat James DeGale. I think he beats James DeGale pretty easy. Chris Eubank Jr., I think that will be an interesting, fun fight for the fans, but I think Andre Ward walks away with the win again. Gilberto Ramirez, top-ranked fighter who's around at 168. I do believe he has a belt, maybe the WBC. I think Andre Ward beats him. I would actually like to see Canelo take on a real challenge. And I know that's kind of left field. I just threw that name out there, and we were talking about Andre Ward. But Saul Canelo Alvarez, who's actually scheduled to meet Chavez Jr. this May, and who has been stalked by Triple G for like the last 2 years. I would like Canelo to take on Andre Ward at a catch weight that was very close to 168. I don't think it will be a problem for Canelo to make the weight. I don't think it would be a problem for Andre Ward to come down. I think that's probably the biggest fight that Andre Ward could have had in his career, because the divisions that he was in just didn't have the shine that the welterweight division and the lower division and the heavyweight divisions have. The middleweight divisions are kind of funny. But I do think a Saul Canelo Alvarez versus SOG Andre Ward is a huge fight. I think that would do over 500,000 buys, more like probably a million point five, something like that. I think that's a great fight. I mean, just looking at the future of Andre Ward, because I don't think he's going to stick around maybe more than 3 4 years. I really couldn't see it. He's done a lot in his career. His numbers are kind of low, but when you look at the resume and you look at the quality of fighters that he's taken on, they're top notch marquee fighters. I mean, so to have a Canelo would be the feather in his cap. I think Canelo is a bigger gem than Triple G. Triple G really still hasn't done anything to prove himself. Canelo has some big wins. He has a lot of names on his career, and I just think that would be a great fight. All right, fight fans, tune in, man. Stay tuned. Buy that pay-per-view event. Support Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev. Hopefully, maybe, possibly, they'll do over 170,000 buys this time. All right, the Mighty Mean Joe Frazier. One.